all of you delightful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Raw Zim, currently as Paint the African Wild Dog, and this is Timberborn, where, as you can see up here, well, it might be small, but, I have 1 unit of food left. I am in a very dire food crisis.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Very bad crisis. See you later, Timber. Thanks for coming by.
For the Kaiserin.
Alright, so farmhouse. Let's get several of these built. Yes. Now. Maybe even last week. Yes. And oh wait, no, I'll move this one. It's valuable crop space, but I do want to have a path going all around this area. Food, farmhouse. There we go. We also have some farmland over here that we can make use of. So, why not?
And I just need to keep the stuff separate between Star Wars and Traveler.
Yeah. Kuroy!
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm alright.
That's good.
Just,
Keeping everyone alive.
doing my best to.
Yeah, I thought we would have to do
Hello. Hey there, Ido. How are you there, Kuroy?
I'm good. I'm good. Very sleepy, but good.
Why are you sleepy? Who has betrayed you in this way?
I only have to be up for another hour, though, and then I can go sleepy, guys. Happy sleepy.
Oh, okay.
It's just I got up a bit earlier last night. So, sleepy. Worth it, though. Totally worth it.
I hope so.
You looking forward to TTF? Oh, sorry, TFF?
Oh, very much so.
Zim looks forward to any TF.
Yes.
He says, but he's not a TF talkie.
Well, I gotta use the 3D models occasionally.
And it's okay. I get the head pats.
I'm not. I should probably do a poll and see what everybody thinks of them. Like, you know, what the vast majority thinks, if they prefer the TF talkies or regular 3D models and such. But there is always the card that you can play to bring out the TF talkies.
I like both of them. Different vibes. I'm trying to decide if I should redo my nails for tonight. Or if I should just go with red still. Nah, just go with red. They look good.
Luckily, we do have several crops that are ready to be harvested. It's just that these particular beavers are not very fast they're not very good at the whole farming thing.
You have a lot of farmland.
EP. And you're right, I do. But at the same time, I also have so many beavers.
How many beavers you got? Oh, you do have a lot of beavers.
Yeah. And even still, not enough to cover all the jobs that I've got. Part of the problem is I don't have any proper food production over here. This is my second district, you know?
Hmm.
If only my beavers ate trees.
You want your beavers to numb on wood?
I got plenty of wood.
Well, I'm sure there are plenty of beavers that like to numb on wood. Num 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 num. Hardwood. I had to leave Gyro alone because I kept yawning in his ear and making him EP when he's trying to do homework.
Oh yeah, he does start homework this week.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing water channels.
Yes.
Very nice.
Oh no, you're stealing Rex's gimmick. You're using channels.
Oh, jeez. Alright. Crops. First things first, we're just gonna do a whole bunch of kohlrabi over here. For kohlrabi? What was that?
I'm just reading the quote for tired Kurois, and I'm very confused as to how it's a reference to being tired.
It's usually, it is usually sentient.
Hi, Ado.
You know what? This one can prioritize planting. Right now we have plenty of canola and plenty eggplants. Uh, there's the soybeans. Okay, we'll do 3 rows or columns of that. We will do a little bit of canola over here. Corn. More corn. Eggplants here. And more kohlrabi.
Kohlrabi?
I have no idea what this plant is, but I just know that it can apparently be eaten as is, so...
Oh. Let me have a look at that. Look that up. RBA. So what is RBA?
There. Much more farmland.
Oh. It's basically like a turnip.
Oh.
Kohlrabi, also known as German turnip or turnip cabbage. The more you know.
The more you know.
It is known for its mild, sweet flavor and crisp texture, similar to broccoli stems, that can be eaten both raw and cooked.
What do you mean I hate turnips?
Based on the quote.
Oh.
I mean, it could be true.
Actually, it does make sense. Paint does prefer meat.
Meat's always better.
Alright, we're starting to get some food back in here.
I
Though
mean, I always get the
most of my beavers over here are starving. What were you gonna say?
giggles whenever you play Monster Hunter and the treat that the hunter decides to give your palico is a sausage. Here, kitty, have a sausage.
Well, yes.
Because, meat.
We're gonna pause work on both of these. Get those two done. And then go from there. Alright, so we need another oil press. Got it. Oh wait, that's a terrible spot to put it, because it won't get any power right there. We'll do this. We'll put in some tanks here for holding the canola oil. Actually, we're gonna go ahead and put those facing the sides. That way we can do this. Max priority on all that. Get to it! We can afford some engines. But after the oil presses. Yes, those are drastically high priority. Thankfully, it does not look like anybody is dying of starvation so far. But that also does not mean a whole lot. Well, we got the, tanks built. Doesn't do us a whole lot of good overall, but we got the tanks.
Still surviving.
Still surviving. Indeed. Indubitably. These hydroponic gardens could be useful. Though I will need to have fermenters for them, as well as fermenters for the mushrooms and food factories for whatever the other thing is that I can grow with that. I have no idea.
Okay, well, I was gonna try to stay up another hour, but I've just hit my hard limit. I'm gonna have to crash.
Oh, well, I hope you sleep
Oh,
well.
sorry. I do too. I'll catch you later. Bye. See ya,
Good
Toshiman.
night.
Bye.
Hi and bye.
So these don't require any workers. This thing only gives me up to 400, was it? Or 300? Yeah, it's only up to 300, and that requires actual beavers to maintain. I think I'm going to get rid of this. Though it is going to cause some problems for a bit. At least until this engine is built. Let's make that max priority. Yeah, we got enough metal blocks for that. Not by much, but we have enough. Put this over that. And do that there. That. Oh. Well, that's okay. I can just move these up one more. There's enough space for that. There we go. Boom, boom, and boom. But this is the priority to be built. Granted, the engine does require beavers, sort of. But it's more they just need to drop off logs, and they're good. Prioritize building. And nobody is bringing it. Hi, Tal.
Welcome.
For some reason, my Discord decided to swap my my headset output.
Oh.
So I could not hear anything for the past couple seconds when I joined.
Just a couple of welcomes.
All right.
So these engines produce 400 horsepower. The large power wheel, which is the one that the beavers push, is 300. Actually, yeah. It produces more power than everything else I've got. Because even these large wheels, which take up a lot of space and have to be built in the water and stuff, those only produce at most 270. And as you can see up here, this one's currently only producing 227, 228. They're not even guaranteed to give that full power. So yeah, the engine is the best way to go. But yes, I am very excited.
I'm glad that you are excited.
We just need title. Or name.
Yeah. That and icon. I have a couple things I'm mulling over. Nothing that I'm quite happy with, so.
Well, what are they? Maybe I could help, brainstorm.
Well, because of the option that you guys chose in terms of like, what the initial focus and trajectory is going to be. I'm trying to come up with names that are at least like balance or force related. Like, for an icon, like, maybe like some scales that, like, the dark orb is weighed down a lot more than the light orb or whatever. Like, that kind of symbolism is, like, easy enough to come up with, but
Just watch out for those gray Jedi.
Gray Jedi are badass and are actually the close enough to the actual original Force users. Actually, the original like, Jedi, like, before, like, the whole sect split into, like, the more modern Jedi and the Sith, lived in a place where there was a moon that was naturally attuned to the light side and a moon that was naturally attuned to the dark side, and if you went more towards one than the other too much, they would make you go to the opposite moon and meditate until you were rebalanced. There's some fun Star Wars lore for you.
Interesting.
So it could also show those moons, but that might also, it could always show, like, a dark moon and a light moon on scales and have the dark moon be, like, way heavier. That seems like a decent enough icon.
I think that would work. I know as far as light dark side stuff, my character is probably going to wind up more in the middle himself.
Yeah, Lothwolves are naturally attuned to the light side more, but yeah. Him personally, obviously everyone can vary.
Yeah. He enjoys slicing. Networks and bodies.
Yeah. So what, are you gonna have his fur be gray now or something?
I'm planning his fur is going to be white, but the little
like the other one.
The little scaly parts are gonna be black.
Okay.
I might have already sent off the thing to Roy.
Nice.
Mirai's new name, you know.
Yeah, I know. I heard. Yeah.
I don't remember who all I've told and haven't told, so.
Yeah, I think you made like a post, like a really minor post about it one time that I saw. I think at least.
But yeah, he's also gonna have kind of a small mohawk between his ears, which will be black fur, and that will go a little bit down his back.
Hmm. Is that a natural thing, or when he went out into the wider galaxy, did he stylize a bit?
It'll be natural. It's just kind of how I'm reflecting the idea that he is more in the middle.
Makes sense.
Slightly more on the light side, but, you know.
There is one there is one group that would be very interesting for your character or any force sensitive character to meet. And they are perhaps the coolest Chad Mundo Force Order that I know of.
Oh?
Yeah, the Matu Kai.
I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah. So they were specifically they were a light side order. They shirked the use of the dark side. But they are very interesting because they believe in working out your physical body in equal parts to your spirit with your force sensitivity. To the point where they don't even use lightsabers. They use a polearm known as a Wan Shen. Which is actually capable of being used with, like, force powers. And could resist lightsabers. So they had physical, actual weapons with a blade that were like a polearm, and they were even lightsaber resistant.
Interesting.
They basically viewed the Jedi as being unpuritan idiots. Or not unpuritan, the two Puritan idiots. And kind of never really joined up with the Jedi because they were like, hey, we think you guys are kind of dumb. They are persecuted by the Empire because they're a light side organization, obviously. And they were actually one of the few that were targeted almost as early as the Jedi were. They have more survivors than the Jedi. And some of them even end up joining up with Luke Skywalker's, new Jedi Order in Legends lore. I go by Legends usually.
I'm good with going by Legends too.
Yeah.
The whole
because they
Disney coming in. Bleh.
Yeah, no, I'm going by Legends, and no one will convince me otherwise. But yeah, so their entire philosophy was centered around a balance and harmony between the spiritual force and everyone's physical bodies. So they involved a lot of meditative martial arts, physical training, and all of that sort of stuff. And here's the most interesting part about the Matu Kai. They were capable, with their training, to be able to help develop a force sensitivity in beings who were not inherently gifted with the force.
I do remember hearing that is actually something possible.
It is something possible. In fact, there's even artifacts which are, now these are dark side artifacts, and this is like crime against like sentience to do this. But there is an item out there that you can use to steal other people's force sensitivity and add it to yourself.
Of course. I know Darth Plagueis, apparently, if I recall, it's believed that Anakin was kind of the Force giving Darth Plagueis the big middle finger.
Yeah, that's one of the theories.
Because
Another theory is that Darth Plagueis was responsible for Anakin, but yeah.
Yeah, there's the two theories is that he was responsible for Anakin, but also that it was the Force being like, okay, we are well past the 15. Bitch, stop fucking around with things.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Matukai are ridiculous because imagine martial arts mastery mixed with extreme force powers and actual like good physical stamina. So they could literally fight for hours on end without getting tired.
I like the sounds of this.
Yep. In addition to that, one of the other things that they would learn to do is learning to purge illness and poison from their bodies. So, like, they would become immune to disease and poison because they'd be able to, just straight up, like, expel them from their body to the point where, like, they could shrug off, almost instantly fatal poisons. They could also self-thermal regulate by raising or lowering their body temperature. Even becoming capable of making it so that way their skin was hot to the touch and like burned things that tried to grab them. They could literally harden their skin to become almost immune to physical damage. What else? They knew instantly if they were wounded, injured, or sick in any single way at all. They already mentioned the Wan Shen, which was ridiculous. And in addition to that, imagine the Wan Shen, martial arts master, immune to poison, immune to disease, could thermal regulate, could harden their skin to become almost immune to physical damage, and they could fight for hours without getting tired. While having all of the normal Force-sensitive powers.
So, I think I might have a group that my character might want to meet.
I think everyone wants to meet the Matukai, to be fair. The Matukai are absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, nice, Rin. Yeah, we're starting a Star Wars campaign soon here, and I am going to be playing a Lothwolf. By the way, I did come up with his name, Furvis.
Furvis? Nice. How much Star Wars lore isn't in the movies? I think it's easier to say, to list out the Star Wars lore that is in the movies.
Yeah. So there's also the question of what you want to consider officially canon. Because when Disney took over Star Wars, they basically went in and said, if it's not in the movies or the shows or a video game, it's no longer canon.
Yep. So they Thanos Snap Legends, and I will forever dunk on them for this. One of their main director people then went on to complain, basically bitch and complain about everyone being mad about like the stuff that they were making. And they went, there's just not enough other stuff to go off of, so of course we're making changes. After, Thanos snapping Legends out of existence. So they stripped it down, and then they tried using the fact that they stripped it down so there wasn't as much canonical stuff to defend the choices they were making. Because Disney. That's why it happened.
I can slightly understand. Because the amount of lore that's out there, it's definitely hard to work with. But on the other hand, I look at that much lore and I'm like, sweet! Everybody else did the work for me! Let's go!
All I have to do is keep track of this stuff in stuff that's already in fan-made, hyperlinked wiki articles? Wow.
So I probably can't do the silly one, like the mouse droid, or anything like that.
I mean, that's up to Towel ultimately, but I would personally prefer you,
I won't hard tell you can't, but I would definitely recommend against it.
I would personally prefer a more serious character as well, personally.
I already know that Digi's gonna cause so much chaos. If for no other reason than it's Digi and he gets to be a player. But yeah, no, like, you know, obviously if you want to pick a droid, perfectly fine.
Up. Hold the line. This Hamlet
Just maybe not a mouse droid.
Rick's Strider raided my stream with 18 viewers.
Hello there, Rex. Welcome in. Was not expecting you to raid in, but... Oh, right, you do work... Well, no, you still got time before you gotta go to bed.
I'm still looking over all my options.
That's fair.
Alright, we got all the workers we need over here. But now this side is suffering on workers. Oh boy. We need more beavers.
I'm not looking forward to next Sunday. Or I guess I'm not looking forward to next like Monday or Tuesday. That'll be hard on me.
What happens then?
Because that's when I fully start my new job. The one that it's 6 to 6 12-hour workdays. Eastern.
Ah, yeah.
So I am going to be the fucking dead inside.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Especially because I gotta wake up at like 4:30 a.m. in order to shower and then drive to work, because I have to go to a different state for it and drive like an hour away.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
How many days a
Killer
week was
commute.
it?
The 3-1 for the next.
Oof.
But I'll be making 24 an hour, and on the 48-hour week, I'll be making multiple hours of overtime at time and a half, so.
Well, not too bad.
That is, yeah, it's like, it is a significant pay increase, so.
Yeah.
I'll be making like 50K a year, which will be really nice for me.
But yeah, I'm definitely planning to use the whole force power thing to just, you know, force levitate or whatever it's called officially. To make robots or make droids. I will have an
shit, that's what
army.
Anakin did, so like.
I don't recall, well, I haven't looked that much into the legend stuff, so that's fair.
Yep. To be fair, that's also what a lot of the Jedi did when fighting the droids. Like they would just start doing things like, you know, force grab onto some of the bolts and rip the bolts out.
That's pretty great.
That was an actual tactic that Jedi used in order to quickly disable the troublesome droids when they actually like started to learn the schematics and weak points.
And then there's the tricks against the battle droids, the dropships and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, I am definitely getting myself some battle droids.
Dang, it's almost like the place I'm starting you off at has random bullshit from so many major factions, including the fact it was CIS controlled. Damn.
Beautiful. I know they are going to be cannon fodder, but I don't care.
It depends. Are you going to keep the original programming?
That is a good question.
You're a slicer.
You're a slicer. It is a canonical fact that they are being hampered by their programming and become far more effective if their programming is altered.
Oh, in that case, yeah, I'm definitely going to modify it.
Yeah. That isn't like, you know, a known thing like in universe, but like, you know, out of game. That is that yeah. It's to the point where like though occasionally when a B1 went rogue, it became an actual effective combatant. And I will say, I run droids when it comes to like their capabilities by lore, not based off of what's shown in like the movies alone. So that means if you meet an IG series droid, maybe don't fuck with it. Or maybe do, if you really want to. There is at least one character that's an IG series droid that is questionably helpful. I'm gonna tell you the character's name, and it would have been one of the major people you dealt with if you chose option number 1. So think about it this way: an IG series droid. Do you know what that is, by the way, Zim?
If I'm recalling right, it's the ones with the big cone heads that can rotate individually.
Yeah. Like the one from The Mandalorian, the IG, what was it, like 11? That's an IG series droid. So imagine that, but make them slightly crazy and going by the name Rustpile.
I like the sounds of this already.
He is very much so insane. And when I say insane, just like, you know, out-of-game lore thing, he was an assassin droid, and then someone tried to wipe his programming and memories and did it halfway.
Oh!
So, when I say he's a little bit insane and unstable, I mean that he has half of his programming as an IG series droid.
Understood. I will make use of this.
Or how about the B1 battle droid that trolled Anakin and Obi-Wan just
Oh,
by
yeah.
running?
Yeah,
Just by what?
running.
Oh.
It never got a name.
But yeah, each of the options comes with like what I would consider like a quote unquote like major figure and potential antagonist that comes with it, and you chose the one that's the most fun to deal with.
I am excited.
I won't spoil details about it, but I will remind you, the Empire was pretty busy hunting down basically any Force sensitive they could find, so...
Yeah, but it also gives reason for Furvis to wind up with the group.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But I am just reminding you that, hey, the Empire was really hunting after those Force sensitives, actually, and a lot of the time they weren't doing it with grunts.
I'm aware. The
So,
Inquisitors were very
fun
much
option.
a thing.
And I'm gonna say this in the most legitimate way possible, you're probably going to wish it was an Inquisitor.
Oh boy.
And no, I'm not saying someone higher ranked. I'm saying it's going to be someone harder to deal with than an Inquisitor. Xenoplex, if you're Force sensitive but not a Jedi, die instantly, right now. Become hunted. All Force sensitives pretty much were labeled as Jedi by the Empire and hunted down, even if they weren't. Like the Matukai I mentioned earlier, they were also hunted down by the Empire almost right away. Wait, sorry. They might interrogate you in order to pass along your Force secrets and then kill you.
Or allies who might be Jedi related.
Mm-hmm. If you're known to consort with Jedi, become interrogated and die. If, you're a known Force sensitive, become interrogated and die. You know what? I take it back. If you fear soft power more, 3 was the worst one, and if you feel hard power more, then 2 was the funniest option. Because that would, like, just good luck with number 2, which was the whole a rebel start. Go fight the Empire directly. Have fun.
No, people, they fucked with the Night Sisters, Ren. They very much fucked with the Night Sisters. Actually, if I recall, most of them were completely... they were basically, I cannot think of the term. Starts with an E.
Exterminated. Eradicated.
Extinct was what I was trying to go for, but yeah. Eradicated.
There's a lot of E names for killing things.
Yeah. The vast majority of them are just no longer around.
Mainly illegal.
Illegal. Damn it. Emancipated from reality. But yes, because I've had so long to think about it, no matter what you chose of the first three, I basically have the entirety of the first season's like skeletal plotline, I guess I should say, so that way I could still fill it in with stuff related to you guys, already completed for each of them, and they're all partially interconnected anyway. So the things from each will be
As you normally do with your webs.
Yes, and they're all interconnected, so they'll probably end up coming up anyway, just later and not as directly right away to you guys.
So don't go Death Star on the planet yet.
I mean, look, if you guys want to go cooing planets, I will let you, because I am a repeat offender of doing that. But just know that, I will remind you that in one of the things, there is a heavily increased Imperial garrison, so have fun doing that as low-level characters. But yes, you guys have chosen your initial thing, and also who your initial antagonist is going to be.
It's gonna be fun.
It will.
Or torturous, one of the two.
One of the two. You know, why not both?
Yeah, why not both?
CJT, how much trouble do they have to cause to get Vader to show up? Vader showing up is a sign that they done fucked up and better start running.
I'm going to assume that you're going with the more standard rules for Vader of he shows up and one of us dies each turn.
Basically. Because it's Darth fucking Vader, what are you going to do? Like, I won't, like, unless you do something to slow him down, it'll be one of you per turn. If you're actively coming up with things to do, and spending those funny little tokens that I've been figuring out how best to make work with this, the per turn, then you know, you could slow him down a bit. But if you let him get close to you, even remotely, it's just going to be that one scene of Vader in the hallway with you guys. I will let you know, it would be a very big deal, obviously, if Vader showed up somewhere. Also, I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'll be right back. I'll still be listening, though.
Alright. Yeah, you very much so, Guru. The Jedi are broken. Well, that's why usually Jedi fight Force users fight Force users generally.
That's why one of the old characters in my game had a slug thrower just for Jedi.
A slug thrower?
Traditional gun.
Ah.
Shoots bullets instead of...
That would make sense. Shotguns are probably pretty effective against them as well. Or especially effective.
It's just a real pain to get ammo for it.
Well, that's when you just make your own. I mean, you know, to be fair, old Republic, even their standard soldiers, not Mandalorians, were pretty badass. Well, when it comes to the Empire came up basically after the Jedi were gone. There were still a few holdouts of Jedi here and there, but the vast majority of them were gone.
And there's 2 points. The Empire and the Emperor.
Oh yeah, I know, right, Rin?
The funny part is the original lore is that they were actually like the elite soldiers of the Empire, which is why Obi-Wan does the only Imperial stormtroopers could be so accurate, because they were supposed to be the special forces,
Yeah.
and then they just weren't.
wonder if we're gonna get somebody playing as a clone trooper.
Is an option. Garrett, so it depends what you're asking about in terms of lore. So, in terms of lore, Imperial Stormtrooper armor is actually really good for what it's meant to do. Because here's the thing. It renders you basically immune to slug throwers. It's anti-kinetic armor a lot of the time. Because it was meant... It's effectively... It is the Empire's equivalent of SWAT gear in like its original design. It is meant to put down insurrectionists, and insurrectionists usually have access to slug throwers and not energy weapons. Which is also why every time a blaster comes up, it deals a lot of damage to them because it isn't as highly rated against energy blasters as other armor was. It's anti-kinetic armor. It could also turn away glancing blows from energy weapons. But yeah, no, that's why it looks like paper mache a lot of the time in lore, because it's anti-kinetic peacekeeping armor effectively. And because it was so standard issue, it just did things. But that's also like when, like, you know, Death Trooper armor started coming around. That's why those guys are like tanks in comparison.
One moment.
But yeah, Death Trooper armor, very funny. It is completely environmentally sealed. Has like a layer of reflect on it, which basically warped electromagnetic signals. So it, like, you know, it would what's the word for it? It would basically make it so that way you couldn't be like scanned and found out from your electronics. I mean, Gideon used them too, so I mean, like... Nope, Gideon did actually have some Death Troopers.
Sorry about that.
Welcome back. In fact, I'm pretty sure they even appear in The Mandalorian.
What do?
Like, he was talking about how he mixed stuff up and Moff Gideon didn't have Death Troopers, he had Dark Troopers, and I was like, no, he had Death Troopers too. Been pinged. Where have I been pinged? Fair enough.
Rex has brought me food.
Ah, the Fube has arrived.
Yes.
True. Although, to be fair, he's in Beskar armor, which is the potentially some of the most ridiculous armor in existence for Star Wars. So he's still built in like with absolutely fantastic gear. Yeah. Force is bullshit.
Yeah, I realized
That is also true.
I realized a slight problem with what I had crafted here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait until you guys meet the requisite bounty hunter character. NPC person. He's quite the character and very funny to have written. So being able to use him will be fun.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, don't worry. He almost explicitly uses non-lethal methods. Because he jury-rigged up a weapon, made it so it dealt non-lethal only, also called being like, a stingray, because it makes the weapon cheaper, and then rigged it up to auto-fire as fast as possible, so that way he could unload no less than 30 stun bolts into anyone, so that way he could just drag them in instead of having to worry about accidentally killing them.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So, you know, he would take people out, like, you know, they'd fall to the ground, and then, like, you know, he'd walk up, kick them over, and fire off a couple extra stun bolts just to be safe.
Understandable.
On the plus side, if you meet him, you know you aren't going to die because he really won't kill you. He doesn't believe in double tap. He believes in double magging people. I think that's a good way of putting it. Yep, but thankfully non-lethal damage cannot kill you, even if it's excessive. I mean, you'll probably wake up with the worst headache of your life, but, you know. But yeah, he did it explicitly because it made his gun cheaper, and it also made it so that way he doesn't have to worry about if a bounty is dead or alive only, or whatever. Because he could just drag the unconscious body in. You know, absolutely hilarious. And yes, it is technically easier to block stun hits for the stun bolts. The problem is, remember when I said he jury-rigged it to fire faster? He doesn't just, like, you know, try and do like the whole professionalism, oh, I'm gonna hit you with the minimum amount of expenditure to show how efficient I am. He's gonna mag dump your ass, and then when you go down, mag dump you again to be sure. It's a very elegant solution. Yeah, he can fire into crowds, he can do whatever it is that he damn well pleases, because he can be sure he won't kill the wrong target and he won't accidentally kill the target.
They overdosed. They died.
So yeah, there is, it kind of like depends on the exact version, but yeah, stun is generally speaking in a more circular thing.
And I'm thinking about Chadrafan.
What were you thinking about?
My character being a Chadrafan. The bat-like people.
Yeah, the little bat one, yeah. Very possible. I wonder if anyone's gonna play a droid. Yep. But they weren't any more effective against Jedi because instead of being reflected back, this is also another side benefit, they would just be dispersed. Yep. It is technically speaking possible to die from a stun bolt, but that's usually if you yourself are otherwise sickly or at risk of like a heart attack.
That's why I was saying overdose because of drug.
Yep. Not really, because it works against like unarmored droids or lightly armored droids. But if you're going against vehicles, like properly armored vehicles, you want ion for that. Which is effectively the stun version for taking out vehicles without destroying the hull. Effectively, it's an EMP gun, yeah.
So since you are here,
Or grenade.
what kind of ideas were you thinking about for revamping natural armor?
Oh,
Or did you have any?
So I had a couple. I'm just having to swap my brain now from being Star Wars focused to this now.
Ah, that. Yeah, understand that problem.
I was thinking about a ton of Star Wars things, and now I'm not. Okay. So for natural armor. So first of all, I was thinking about trying to make it more analogous with, like artificial armor. Or armor, natural defenses. Natural defenses becoming more analogous to the sort of things that you can get with armor.
I was kind of thinking of that as well.
Yeah.
Or rather an exclusive kind of setup where you can, like a trait that you could basically take for natural armor that gives you the equivalent of actual armor, but you cannot use actual armor if you're doing so.
All right, so you said that that's going to be like a trait. What do you mean by that?
One of the primeval feature upgrades.
Okay. So it would upgrade your natural armor into being like armor, but it also precludes you from actually using armor.
Yeah. Which, of course, actual armor has the advantage of, oh, it got damaged in the last fight. Well, fix it up, good to go. Whereas natural armor is like, yeah, you're gonna be healing up for a while.
Yeah, well, especially because our rate of healing on natural armor is glacially slow. Natural armor with how it is now is almost always going to be at like 1 durability every day. Unless you're saving it up. So that's one of the primary things that I kind of want to address with it, which is, first of all, natural armor, glacially slow recovery rate. Benefits are over, like, artificial armor doesn't cost money, it costs XP instead for, like, upgrading it, like, in certain ways, but it does not cost money. It can't be sundered. It's not like a sunder target. So it can't be, like, broken.
You always have it available.
Yeah. It's always available. You don't have to worry about comfort when sleeping in it because it's just you. So it has all of these benefits. The downsides are glacially slow recovery rate. And that's like the big one because it makes those benefits are all nice, but it doesn't matter if you can't use it. So it needs to have a way to not be glacially slow. Slow recovery is perfectly fine. It's just way too slow right now. In addition to that, other negatives. Who joined?
Hey, Ryujin.
Hey, Regin.
Hey, Regin.
I'm sorry, I'm a negative, Tal.
I know, right? All right, where was I? Right, negatives of natural defenses right now. Right now there is it provides almost no actual like defensive stats right now. Like, it applies a little bit of soak, but it has no negation with it. And because it has like literally no negation with it and has no way, at least as a part of the actual system, like of natural defenses to gain negation with it. I know there's some feats, but I'm excluding those for now because technically speaking, that requires, if you don't start with that affinity at the very least, it takes 50 XP to pick up one of those feats.
Yeah. These are things that we could absolutely give as upgrades, though.
Yeah. So it has no way to gain negations effectively. So there is... It's limited to basically being the equivalent of, like, what? Tier... Where's my math sheet? I forget if it goes all the way up to tier 2. But... there it is. It is it's the equivalent at base of being half as effective tier 1 light balanced armor. Because light balanced armor starts off with 2 soak. Natural defenses starts off with 1, and they each have 5 durability. So at best, what you can get is, even if you invest currently, and because I'm just going over, like, the current problems that I see with it. Even if you invest a total of faster regrowth, 2 purchases of that, so 25 for the thing, 30 for faster regrowth, plus 25 times 4. I think you can purchase that 4 times, right? Yeah, you can purchase it 4 times. So, for 185 XP, you could have natural defenses that regrow at a rate of 3 per day, 3 soak, 3 durability, has 1 soak, and 25 durability. Now, with faster than fast pause as well, you can purchase that 4 times. So, with a total of 225, all those same stats, except it has 5 soak now.
Yeah, definitely really need some rebalancing.
Yeah, like, I don't think I need to tell you why it's a problem. That if you max upgrade it, you can't even use it once a day. For its full, like, even for a full soak value. For over 200 XP. So, it has a bunch of benefits to it. It needs to have some downsides in order to, balance it out. So also another thing, the only thing that really makes it, like, a viable and really good thing to pick up is, drop the tail and, drop the hail, tank the hit with it. Which, what that means is for the price of 45 XP, once every 5 days, you can negate any one attack coming at you. Which is powerful, and it's like the only, like, real redeeming quality that it has right now. And, like, obviously we saw the power of that the last Wild Traditions episode. So, we need to give it some negatives. So, slow regrowth, that's fine. We might want to make it so that way the armor, the natural defense, repairs itself on short/breather rests as well, in order to give them some actual, like, durability recovery through the day. Because they can regen their health during those, so I feel like they should also be able to regen natural defenses if they have them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
In return, unless you pick up, like, the artificial scales trait, you can't repair it manually, and even with artificial scales, we should probably make it so that way it's, like, it's considered, like, exotic materials, so it's difficulty 8 to repair manually. That way you could still do it, but it's not as good as artificial armor at being repaired.
I'm kind of thinking...
Or make it specialty.
I'm kind of thinking of removing the artificial scale thing.
That's also fair.
And increasing... I like the idea of where they can regenerate, and if they didn't take a short rest or breather rest, then they get all of that regeneration that they would have gotten from the 2 per day during the full rest.
Yeah. So mechanically what this does, because our current regrowth is so low, let's go at, like, tier 2. Like a tier 2 character. So that'd be 10 through 14. if they, for example, did not have the faster regrowth trait, which is like 30 XP, so it's entirely reasonable that a tier 2 character would be like, that's 30 XP. That is a quick move. I am not investing that in this right now. So they would be able to regenerate 3 per day. If they pick up the fast regrowth, it turns into 6 durability a day. Like, spread throughout, 2, 2, 2. Or all at once, lump sum. That's nice. And it does not, it doesn't, what's the word for it? Doesn't break anything. Now, getting it to regen 3, that requires, currently at least, integrity 5, so you have to have a maxed out integrity. And you get to fast regrowth again, and you would then be able to recover 9 durability a day. And, that's as high as it could go.
What if we take you get a... Let me reformulate this idea, because I was about to say it and then brain's like, and scramble it all up.
Alright.
What if we come up with a set of armor that... So when you purchase it, it's the equivalent of a tier 1 balanced armor. Or you can specialize it. You can choose that when you pick it up. And, but if you are wearing artificial armor, then we would have a separate table that it pulls from.
Alright, can you elaborate that?
Well, for example... Let me just pull up the armor list. Just throwing this out there as an example. So you pick it up and you have... You start off with a tier... It's the equivalent of a tier 1 light balanced armor. If you wear artificial armor with it, instead of the 2 soak, you only get 1 from the artificial armor. The durability, I feel, could stay the same, but they could also potentially get a movement penalty, for example, because, well, your artificial armor could, that combined with the other armor could slow you down. Basically, just debuff what they would get if they were stacking artificial and natural armor.
So here's an idea for that. Because there is a way that we could make it very interpolable, at least for this. Because we're going to be putting in, a lot of, the nice things for armor as, EXP, extra ability, natural defense upgrades, right? That's our plan from what was kind of mentioned before.
Okay, repeat that?
We're going to be putting in, some of the traits for... on artificial armors into the natural armor, natural defense thing in order to spruce up the section, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what we could do is make it so that way armor is actually. I'm gonna skip past the armor for now. For the natural defenses, what if we have it treat them like when they purchase it, they have on their body at all times as a natural defense, separate from armor, light armor of their character's tier. And so, that's that. They would take the positives and the negatives. And then, there could be, little traits to, buy down some of the negatives with, XP.
I'm good with that.
Potentially. And
reduce the skill penalty and stuff.
Yep. And if you are wearing artificial and natural defense and have natural defenses of the same, category, you are treated as wearing armor or having natural defenses of one weight category higher for the negatives. So if you have light natural defenses and light armor on, you would be counted as wearing medium armor. For the negatives.
The only issue there is, what do we do if they've got light natural defenses and heavy artificial?
So with that, what I would say, and I'd have to do some testing for this, obviously, but what I would say is a pretty good rule of thumb for that is they're going to be taking the negatives combined stacking.
What do you mean?
So, for example, they would take the evasion penalty, at least at base. I'm imagining that they would take the evasion penalty from the natural defense light armor.
Okay.
And then they would also take all of the related penalties from the heavy armor and add them together.
Yeah, that could work. I think, personally, the better option would be to go what I was suggesting there. Where it's... They are, I think it would be better to go the route that I was suggesting, where it is we have set penalties or, changes to how the natural armor works. Because, them getting more penalties is all well and good, but I feel like they should also have more on top of that for simply... or adjustments to things. For simply having the both on at the same time. I don't necessarily want it to be enough to discourage them. Because I don't want them to be like, well, fine, I just won't do it. But enough to be like...
something up.
Yeah, they're giving something up, exactly.
Okay. As my one concern is just that separate tables are going to get confusing and annoying fast.
What I'm thinking is we would just have a standard set of... Okay, are you wearing this? Is your natural armor this? Well, it suffers this, this, and this.
Okay, so it's just like standardized penalties.
Yeah, across the board. Also, as far as them upgrading their armor, I think that should require a small amount of XP. So like they get with the purchase of it, they get, tier 1 armor. Good to go. But then if they want tier 2, it's like another 10 XP or something. Not a huge amount, but enough to they just don't instantly go up,
My only issue with that is that right there, for example, is a total of a 50 EXP tax. On top of spending XP on whatever other traits for this thing.
Yeah, but it's also a very powerful thing. Especially if you wind up combining it and stuff.
Yeah,
Also, Raijin?
Razum
I loves you.
loves you too.
the thing that I'm trying to think about for this, like in relation to this in particular, is what we can really nerf on some of these without it just making it so that way it's like useless. I was like, what is there to really nerf on a lot of like the light balance, like the first couple light balance tiers that doesn't also just kind of leave it in a pretty bad state?
Well, we could also do it in percentages. It doesn't have to be a flat number, but like you only get 50% soak and 50% negation from your natural armor if you're wearing artificial. It requires a tiny bit more math from them, but,
Yeah. I guess so long as they are also, like, still considered wearing it for purposes of, like, getting penalties if they want to upgrade the weight class of their natural armor. Because at that point, you're literally defense layer stacking.
Sorry, repeat all that. I was sneezing.
Oh, okay. I was saying, I guess, so long as they still count as having the negatives of quote unquote wearing that bit of armor, even if it's like natural defense stuff, so they still take the movement, evasion, all like all those related penalties.
I agree on that. Good night, Ido. Thanks for hanging out.
Yep. See ya, Ido. Because it's like they're still considered wearing it. At that point, you're defense stacking, and like every bit of extra like defense that you get is gonna layer on. Although I think instead of it just being natural armor takes the hit, they have to choose one that takes the hit. They have to. I think they should have to choose whether their natural or artificial armor will be 50% effective.
I could agree to that.
it's going to be the same stats anyway, so this changes nothing, except it gives them the choice. And it'll result in basically them choosing if they want their first layer of defense or their second layer of defense to be the stronger or weaker one. But, like, I could totally see it that, like, someone has, like, some beefy natural defenses and they want to wear armor too, but they want to flavor it like, oh, hey, it's just to, like, add on and, like, pad a couple of spots from their bulky natural armor, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. I like that.
Now, that way it's like, it gives them the option, it results in the same negative, and it does give some amount of mechanical difference, because, again, you're choosing whether, effectively, if you want to have to constantly repair your artificial armor, or if you want to make it so that way, if they get through your artificial armor, like, oh, hey, that's your defense is mostly opened up. So there's some choice to it, which I like giving them some actual choice to it.
They can work hard to get through your artificial armor. And then you just... You rip off the last of the leather straps and plates and such. And they just see shiny metal scales underneath.
Just fucking Escanor their ass.
Ah, good. That was just weighing me down.
Get them with the Rock Lee special. But yeah, I think that's probably the I think that's probably like the most balanced way of doing it, because otherwise, like, we're just gonna get a bunch of people like defense layer stacking.
Yeah.
Also, I got to use it once and it was really funny, but we should really just make it so that way the drop the tail thing lets you put a stack of either protected, insulated, or guarded on yourself for the durability cost.
Sorry, repeat that?
It drop the tail. I got to have my fun with it, but we really probably should make it so that way it's you choose to put a stack of protected, insulated, or guarded on yourself when using it for the durability cost. And so that way, if people have thing like remove positive condition on an effect, they can still get through it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, got to have my fun with it, but I was thinking about that afterwards, and I'm like, because it just says it negates, and I don't have to guess at all what it does. All I need to know is that it exists and it's attacking me, and I just negate it.
But I suppose the question is, can they proc it as a reaction, or...
I say that, we're still, like, they have to use their reaction for it.
Okay.
Because with how it's said right now, it doesn't have an action cost associated. But, it does say you must decide to use this ability before the power roll results are announced. Which, that is the same sort of phrasing that we have on stuff like parry, or similar phrasing to the stuff we have on, like, parry, which uses a reaction to activate. So, activate it, sacrifice the durability, congratulations, it uses a reaction.
Yeah. Would you mind writing this stuff down in the note doc?
Yeah, sure.
And, how you doing, Raijin? How's work?
I'm okay. I'm playing with games. My coworkers are talking about the Minecraft movie. It's horrible.
Nice.
Oh? Yeah, I kind of, figured it would be awful. I, want to watch it for myself, purely because of morbid curiosity and to laugh at how bad it is.
But from about 5 minutes of them talking about it, I don't think you would even laugh at how bad it is.
Surely it at least has to have some value in that regard, right? Right?
Alright, so I was enlightened on a song from it, which is the Hot Lava and Chicken. And I will read out the lyrics for you, and you can decide. La 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 lava, chicken. Steve's lava chicken, yeah, it's tasty as hell. Ooh, mamacita, now you're ringing the bell. Crispy and juicy, now you're having a snack. Ooh, super spicy, it's a lava attack.
What?
That was an absolutely fire bar. I'm proud of you, Raijin.
I don't think this is something Raijin wants to be proud of.
But they just hit that fire bar on stream.
Catch me spitting bars live.
Alright, I wrote down natural defenses. My base starts at tier 1 light armor. May specialize if desired. Can be upgraded tiers at a cost of 10 XP per tier. If wearing both natural and artificial, choose one. That one gets 50% negation and soak. I'll put 50% reduced, just to remind us.
And we're also...
And just for clarification, that does mean Jack Black is...
That does mean Jack Black is what?
singing that song.
Oh, well, lovely.
Nice.
We are going to be removing artificial scales, right?
Probably, yeah.
Alright, go ahead and note that down.
Yep, and drop the tail. Let's you choose to put a stack protected, isolated, guarded on self at time of use. Costs a reaction to use. Because yeah, it's funny, but it that kind of does need to be rebalanced.
To be fair, it was the first time anybody's used it.
That is true.
Do we want to change the XP cost for Drop the Tail with this adjustment?
Oh, it's 15 XP if it sacrifices durability, gives you a 30 XP effect to do it. Well, actually, hold on here. Let me... If we count... Durability isn't quite equal to health. It's slightly more worthwhile. So... Because negation exists. So durability generally is more important than health. Maybe not. Yeah, I guess it depends on the armor. But durability is pretty important.
Yeah.
Because there's ways to regen health. Getting durability back's a lot harder. So it costs 5 durability to use. That's... I'm not going to say like 10, but I'll put it at like 9, which puts that at 45 XP. So 45 XP worth of negative. In terms of that, in order to get a 60 XP effect, actually considering like the 30 for, 100% chance of positive condition on self, 30 for it being protected and insulated, slightly less for guarded, but you get flexibility with it. 60 minus 45 is 15, which is exactly where we're at. In other words, yeah, I think it's fine.
All right. So, for regeneration, it'll be recovering 1 durability per rest instead of full rest.
Yeah, and we might want to make it scale, because I did make a regeneration trait as, like, one of the magical ones that people would want the most, obviously.
Yeah.
Which was repairing, which is repairs X durability per tier per long rest. And the X being 1 for light, 2 for medium, 3 for heavy. Which, like, is more of, like, a quality of life thing. So... Because also, one thing to keep in mind is that heavy armor has a massive durability pool. Like, I'm just going to use tier 4 because that's, like, attribute 20, that's, like, mid-game. Like, starting to get, like, your late game going. This is, like, I'll consider it, like, the true, like, end tier of mid-game. Armor at that level has 80 durability. Massive durability pool.
That is definitely a lot. You're likely to lose the rest of your health before that gets done.
Yeah. With the idea of it having all of that being that it is very possible to overpen the armor and hurt the wearer underneath, especially with combos, melds, and effectively, like, good damage builds. Like, when I say good damage builds, I mean builds that actually, like, put in the effort to use, like, stat changers to scale themselves. because it takes tier 3 balanced heavy armor to get to the negation level where it is equal to the maximum amount of positive damage stat change that someone can get. Or let me put it this way. For medium armor, in order to get to that level, that's tier 6 medium balanced armor. That's where it gets to 6. Because you gotta remember the stat change thing, the way that it works is it just adds successful damage results. Which means that these armors, like, at those tiers, with that, would be treated as having no negation in exchange for you effectively not having applied stat changes. So it's actually fairly reasonable to be able to bust through the armor if you're doing actual, damage scaling build. But yeah, no. So back to my point. Medium armors get about 10 they get 10 durability per tier, about 1 through 6. Light gets 5, heavy gets 20. Which also technically means that if we do 1, 2, and 3, X per tier, like I suggested, it's more effective at repairing light and medium armors than it is heavy armors percentage-wise. It repairs a lower percentage. Because the durability doubles, but the repair goes up by 50%. From medium to heavy. So, fun fact for you on that. But yeah, so if we just make it 1, 2, or 3 or something like that, or just make it equal to tier, that'll be nice, but it'll again leave it in the heavier armors in positions where their durability is almost always going to be really low. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. But,
actually, here, I can explain this in percentages if you want.
well, I'm struggling to understand what your what your point is on that.
Okay, because I was going over the trait, which was the repairing trait.
Mm-hmm.
Which, what that does is it makes it so that way per I'll say rest. For this, it's long rest, but per rest. It makes it so that way it repairs X durability per tier, and the X is equal to 1 for light, 2 for medium, 3 for heavy. And we could just make it so that way natural armor, it gets it more often, at the short rests as well as the long rest. So that way it's shown to be oh, hey, this just repairs faster. But if we do it the X per tier, that turns it into a percentage of recovery. Which I like the idea of having it be partially percentage based. Because that makes it easier to understand, in my opinion. Because effectively what this means is that they would repair for light and medium 20% of their durability per the rest. For the heavy, it's 15%.
Okay.
So those numbers with that system makes it so that way it's a percentage recovery.
Okay.
And it's 20 for light and medium, 15 for heavy.
But what are you suggesting for, regrowing durability for... Like, with that in mind, what are you suggesting that we should have the durability regen at for natural defenses?
I was going to suggest it being about the same rate, but they get it more often. Because this would also mean that...
The same rate as the artificial armor regen, or...
at the same amount, but they get it... At the same amount for each one, but they would get it on the short rests as well. With the idea being, for light and medium, that is a total of, 60% recovery per day, and for heavy, that's 45% recovery per day. With the understanding that there's also no way to manually repair them.
All right.
As a small aside, a lot of the similar stuff to what's been talked about here were ideas that I was going to play around with whenever I started filling out ideas for the perks in greater detail, the expertise perks. One thing in particular being, I thought that would be a solid source for the analog to unarmored defense. But if natural armor is getting the ability to have a lot of those similar perks to armor, then I feel a little bit less certain about the overlap that's going on with that. Alternatively, some of these things could be resolved by being put into perks. Like, for example, Innovative could have the ability to repair their armor if they get a specific perk. I don't know if that's something you want to consider with part of this discussion, but I just thought I'd mention that. So
Yeah,
I had been
good to keep in mind. Yeah, it's a good thing to keep in mind. On one hand, I want the perk system to have some neat things to it. On the other hand, I also kind of want our base systems to be as fleshed out and available as possible. So, I'm kind of internally going both ways on that,
Well, what I'm thinking right now, which due to life, I haven't really had much of an opportunity to sit down and brainstorm on fleshed out ideas, but I'm kind of wanting to put a lot of traditional class-based direction into it, like Innovative or perhaps Logic, but probably Innovative would get a lot of perks that you would typically see in an Artificer, for example, with various abilities to create certain trinkets that just do, as well as repairing things and perhaps stuff with automatons or whatever. And then more functionality for Charming to have things that are traditionally for, bards or what have you, especially once the casting system gets fleshed out and stuff like that.
Yeah. Also, real quick, because I've already put something in chat. Zim, the way that I was thinking that, armor repair would work is that generally speaking, you get, limited on how often you can roll the check, obviously, but I was thinking that it would just be, a craft check, and then based on the amount of successes you got, that's how much you got to repair your armor by. Provided you had materials.
That is probably a good idea to figure that out.
Because that's what I had in my mind this whole time is what it was going to be, because that's how we've done, most other things in terms of stuff like this for the system.
So you can do it once per day, and it's you get 5 successes, you restore 5 durability.
Yeah. And so you could get, like, specialties for it, and you could, if you put, like, the traits on it that, like, make it easier or harder to repair, you could get, like, you know, difficulty 6 repair armor. Or weapon.
I would personally say half of how many successes you get.
Well, because let's look at this in terms of, like, difficulty 7, because that's the standard. We don't want it to be a thing where, like, you know, armor can never be repaired. So that would mean that in order to, on average, get, like, 10 durability back, like, per day, which isn't that high, really, you would need to roll, what, like 45 dice?
Yeah, I think equaling it to the number of successes would probably be the best option there.
Yeah. And, like, maybe not limit it to, like, once a day. Maybe limit it to once a day.
I do like the idea of limiting it to once per day. I do like that.
The other thing I was considering is limiting it to short rests. But, once per day is probably fine.
Well, it'll be once per full rest, Vari.
Once per full rest? Okay.
Which is the same as once per day.
Yeah. So... Yeah, because even if we make it so that way, oh, hey, this is... let's say, like, even if we make it so that way, it's, like, equal, which I think is what we're leaning towards. It would still be the case where it's, like, in order to get... with the whole, like, percentage idea. Like, let's say you wanted to repair some tier 3 medium armor. Like, that's a pretty decent range. Like, you know, tier 3 armor, medium, about an attribute 15 character. In order to get, like... in order to get a good amount of successes on it... Let's actually have it equal the natural regen, just to see where that leads us. The natural regen would be 6 in that case. And for 6, they'd need to roll 13.5 dice to equal it. Which at that point, like, you know, a character that has some investment in craft could do that. So... Honestly, we might want to put in, like, a feat upgrade that lets you repair double durability on repair checks or something. That might be a good feat. What do you think about that?
No, because that feels like it might be stepping on the territory of specialties too much.
Oh yeah, but it would make the specialty even better. Because specialty just provides raw dice, and, like, sometimes, like, difficulty changes. Well, then again, it is a craft specialty, so it would be also affecting the amount. So, it should probably be, like, you know, untrained. I'm just gonna say like untrained because we just did Pathfinder. Untrained repair is like half. If you don't have a craft specialty for it, you repair it half. If you have the specialty, you repair it full. And then we could put in a feat that doubles your result, which would make it so that way if you're untrained, you'd repair at equal to successes, and if you do have the specialty, like a valid specialty for it, you'd repair at double your successes.
I still say no on that.
Alright, well, because the thing that I'm concerned about is I just don't want to put artificial armor in the place where natural defenses are now, where it's just like, okay, well, this is constantly going to be low durability. Unless we take, like, a week off so that way I can repair my armor. Or maybe not like a week off, but like let's say you have medium armor, in order to like repair destroyed tier 3, because I keep bringing up tier 3 because that's like start of mid game. That's when your build starts coming together. Tier 3, in order to repair all of that, you'd need to roll on average about 135 dice total.
Okay, we can add the feat.
And the reason that, like, I'm like thinking about this so much is because we wanted to avoid the problem where it's like, hey guys, I want to repair my stuff. Can we take a week off of adventuring so that way I could craft something? I really don't want us to fall into that trap.
Yeah, it makes sense. They'll also say that there are some campaigns. Honestly, I think only, out of the current campaigns, only, Wild Traditions has people taking damage as much, or pretty much at all.
Yep. Starlight, it's because I promised not to. And
Oh,
now
yeah.
you guys are about to be taking damage. I have a year's worth of damage to hand out.
Oh, yay! I finally have enough workers! Took them long enough.
But yeah, so with this, if someone actually, like, takes the feed, is capable of maintaining their own armor, it'll, like, for medium armor, it'll be like, oh, hey, guys, while we travel there over, like, the next 4 days, I can repair my armor. Like, so long as there's, like, some travel time, you can feasibly fully repair armor between things. So...
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, go ahead and note that down. And you noted down the, how fast we're gonna have it, regenerate for natural defense, right?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of writing all this out right now.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Also, by the way, this also helps us streamline it with how this works right now. With like the half and full based on specialty, because it means that they could just roll one repair check instead of having to individually try and repair all their equipment. Like let's say someone had a weapon, armor, and shield get damaged. They wouldn't have to sit there rolling like individual repair checks if they didn't want to, and they could still like if they had like the armor specialty but not weapon for repair, they could like just apply half of it to the sword or weapon or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
No. I did not follow that one at all.
What I was saying was, this also streamlines, like people. It streamlines people repairing their gear in the same line that, like, rolling for your health regeneration is streamlined. You just roll one thing, and you can derive everything from there. You don't have to go making a bunch of different checks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because, like, you could roll one craft check to repair your stuff, and for every item in your inventory that's damaged or in your party's group that you're trying to repair, like, like, let's say you're the armor or maintenance person for the group, and so you're the mechanic and you're going and repairing everyone's damaged shit after, a day of fighting. Depending on what specialties you have, you just roll once and apply either the full result or half the result. You don't have to make individual checks for, like, a laundry list of equipment. It could just be one check, and it just matters if you have a specialty or not.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that is definitely a good thing to do.
Yep. But yeah, that'll probably work for now in terms of repair rules. It also makes it clear on when and how you can repair armor and weapons and all that, so that's nice, because we didn't really have that before.
I'll
We
probably
just kinda
be
had-
putting... I'm planning to end here in a few minutes on this. Or end stream altogether. And I'll probably go put this stuff into the next update. I know we didn't get approval from Era, and, well, Rygen's at work here. So I don't... I'm assuming you haven't been paying full attention, Rygen. But...
Yep.
It'll
Although,
only be
I
for a
guess-
month if they hate it. But I don't
Yeah,
think
it'll be
they'll
for a
hate
month
it.
if they hate it, and also, like, I'm the person that came up with, like, a lot of the rules for the weapons and armor existing stuff right now, so If anyone should be tapped for figuring out how repair should work, it should probably be the person who came up with all of the stats for durability and all that. You know?
Yeah. Right now, I just want to make sure that all of my stuff is working right for the, Okay, those have closed. I was hoping that maybe some of the water below would stay clean enough that it would still flow. But, oh well. At the least, it closed. That's what matters. And that one closed. And it hasn't reached over here. Yet. Oh, it has, and they've closed. I really like this setup I've got. Those sluice gates are really, really nice. But yeah, after stream, just because of the con, I really want to get this stuff done tonight. And I gotta get taxes done before I leave as well.
Oh, nasty.
Yeah. But the taxes shouldn't take that long. I hope.
Well, you already did the worst part, and like a solid chunk.
The main thing I gotta do right now, the main thing that's left on taxes is just fighting with PayPal's website to actually go through and figure out what everything was and all that. Unfortunately, their website is kind of garbage.
They're not really incentivized to have a good website.
Nope. They're gonna make the big bucks regardless, so why improve?
Yeah, they'll get their money anyway.
Oh crap. Well, it finally started flowing down. But I've got contaminated water now. Thankfully, it wasn't enough to actually affect my crops, but yeah, I'm gonna need to do an entirely different setup. I think what I'm gonna be doing next is going up here and probably setting up sluice gates here at the very top. And get rid of, like, over here and just have it go immediately off map if it's contaminated water.
Yeah. Also, hi, Wernie.
Hello, Wernie. Alright, so tank the hit. I assume that's okay with you?
I think the hit's still fine. It's literally just, oh hey, will you let this through your armor or not?
Okay. With our new setup, do we want to keep thick shell or get rid of it?
No, that's thick shell will probably get replaced by the tier upgrade thing. Because that'll be upgrading your armor.
Yeah.
Unless you want to include separate upgrades for the negations and soak and durability, but that seems needlessly complicated to me.
No. I just wanted to double check. So we'll get rid of thick shell. I think they probably will not by default get any of the armor traits. But we could perhaps put in, because we're kind of removing quite a few of these abilities. We could put in a new one where they can pick one of the armor traits for their natural defense. At the, just at the cost of XP.
Yep. I'm just gonna list out that we're removing stuff like, or maybe should I say like reworking faster than fast pause? And fast regrowth?
Yeah, we're reworking fast regrowth.
I'm gonna say reworking thick shell because we could probably use that for the weight class upgrade.
Oh yeah, that works.
Reworking.
Wait, where are you writing this?
Dev notes.
Okay. Well, put in there what we're actually doing with them.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that I write down all the stuff that we are changing, because I know what we're going to change them into.
Yeah. But this is where we're going to go ahead and call it on the stream, everyone. So, thank you all so much for joining us today for Timberborn. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They're on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, picking up packs of cards to stream loots, using our Humble Bundle partner link, or by commissioning one of the artists that I manage for. Their details are at zgf.art. But for now, thank you so very much for joining, everyone, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Bye-bye.